book is related to property and investing in property.
What book?
Even though
No,
you
she
know
didn't.
what-
I don't know myself.
I didn't listen to any book.
So I didn't
What
listen either. That first chapter you read, I can't remember, Cam.
I didn't listen to the book at all. I was doing my own thing. I can remember. I wasn't even there.
Okay, Eden doesn't know the book.
I wasn't
This
there.
is so sad.
I wasn't even there. I was confused.
Okay, Eden, what do you think about business?
What do I business?
Specifically property. What is your understanding of investing in property?
Invest in property doesn't mean you're gonna live in it, right? It means you're making money off it.
And in what way are you making money off property?
Like you can have like a rental property, and people can like rent you stuff, and then you can buy things, and then you sell, or just like more like you people live in it, and then you get more money from it.
Okay, so what, in your experience of property investment, what have you learned about investing in property, and what are some of the pitfalls that you've come across?
Not to rent to people who look a bit sketchy, and not to have the wrong people manage your stuff.
And what are some of the things that, is there stuff that can break in the property, or
Like, if I were to buy something, I would not put anything, no oven, no fridge, no nothing. Everything was bring yourself, because from experience, too much things have break, and you have to pay too much now. And then you're empty, and you have to do it all yourself, and you take it with you when you go again.
so Joel, what do you think of Eden's understanding?
It's true. So that's the thing about having an investment property, that people think it's just an investment property. There's maintenance that goes with it, but it's really all not that bad. I think we're in 10 years plus of property managing or property renting of our own personal properties. The challenges come when things break. Being in another country adds another dimension to it. But I agree with you, you have to have the right people that's helping you support managing it. And it is a measure of consistent income coming if you can marry the right tenant in the right property, and you also be a good landlord. I think we have had the privilege of having direct interaction with our tenants, and they are people and families too, and also having the grace to not overextend. So as a property investor, don't overextend yourself. Don't buy a property at a high value and then you need that rental to be paid at that premium, and then when that person runs into calamity, when they can't make it, you kind of put yourself into a situation. So that for me is probably the biggest lesson of just, it must be comfortable all around. So build margin in for when that person is not able to pay or needs to leave, that you're able still to carry on and pay it while you find your next tenant. But yeah, I'm not a fan of buying property and then it doesn't earn income. It needs to earn some kind of income. What's the point of buying it then?
Correct. So for me, I agree with both Jill and Eden. It has been quite an up and down situation where we had people not paying their rent for whatever reason. Some people are honest, where they actually may have difficulties, or they may experience a challenge. If we think of COVID caused ructions in the world with many people, and then there are people that are just totally dishonest, where they try and duck and dive to get out of things and not paying for what they have. And even in that, the world has created a system where people think that they can do that and they think it's okay. However, if those people were property owners themselves, if some people were property owners themselves, they would not default on the bank for whatever reason, because they do not want a bad credit record or things. But sometimes that is what as property owners, that is what we may experience. And for us as a family, we're trying to impart that knowledge to Eden, so that Eden can see that running a business, investing in property, doing things, experiencing difficulties with some tenants, even some tenants that lies completely. We've even experienced that as well. And sometimes you need to fight for your right when the next person has actually lied. So there's all sorts of crazy things that goes around. But like I've said, imparting knowledge and teaching our daughter And where we can, we will try and teach others to do the same. And those willing to follow or willing to listen to some of our experiences that we had over the many years of property management, I think since almost 2008. I think the first property that myself and Gill bought together, we were threatened by the managing agent who told us, oh, we're going to sue you, etc., etc. And not long after that, we actually closed him down by a forensic audit. And we find all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah. So I said a disclaimer, we've had our current tenants are all amazing that we have. We try and have open and honest conversations both ways. And so, yeah, there's those kind of pitfalls that nothing prepares you for. But if you know that you're being honest and you know you're doing things right, there's nothing to be scared of.
Correct.
And I think that's what you take away. If your whole business is built on some kind of ethics,
correct,
in terms of how would you want to be treated, that's how you should run business. Correct. Full stop. And you want to know you can do better, then do better. Don't be a miser. Don't put correct. Your tenants in a place where, like Eden says, you either have to decide, and I agree with her, maybe going forward, it's an empty space where there's nothing. We've learned our lesson with having to replace things, but don't be in a place where you actually want to screw your tenants over. Correct. And make it worse or harder for them.
Live in truth, live in integrity, and have some form of ethics. For landlords especially, don't try and squeeze every piece of drop of blood out of your tenants. Your tenants are human beings just like you. Some of them may have faced difficulty. Some of them may even had their own properties before. So don't treat them like they are less than human beings. And I think that is, for us, we come from social justice backgrounds, and we believe in the next person. And
as tenants now, in the phase that we're in our lives now, we are being treated fairly, and that's what we want.
Correct.
Like now, we see when the foot's on the other side as well of what you go through as a tenant. So no, everyone's on a journey. Everyone wants to house their families with dignity. And so if you're that landlord, if there's heating issues, if there's things broken, fix it. Correct. Don't be difficult. You're earning an income from where they're staying. Fix the stuff.
And it's crazy because we investors in South Africa and we tenants in New Zealand. It's quite interesting. I think in the book that we're reading, the one guy is actually so if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Until next time, thoughts from Eden and Gill related to property and business. Cheers, bye bye, peace.